Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, discussing some more Warhammer combat cards, and we're continuing the series talking about MadEmp's meta deck lists. This time we're focusing on the Tau faction, and we've got 5 warlords here, and each deck is 200 points, made up of cards, assuming you have access to all the cards in the game at a high level. So let me know what you think of these decks, and if you agree or disagree with any of the choices for bodyguards. So let's start off taking a look at Onva, who has one of the most interesting special rules in the game, I think. It converts damage taken by your cards into an attack boost of the same type. Unfortunately, it has no effect on Psychers, because Tau have no Psychers in their roster, but it can potentially be very powerful against either ranged or melee decks. Obviously, to make the best use of this special rule, you're going to want to include cards that have both ranged and melee attack types. So for like the biggest card in the deck is the 72-point Ravarna Battlesuit. That thing is very powerful. It's got Precision Shot and Big Game Hunter and a massive amount of health, so it will be able to survive for a very long time, especially if you're healing it with that 6-point healer with Medicae. We've also got for 30 points the other legendary in here is Commander Kalduri, who has Inspiring Presence and Ranged Scout, so definitely a really great card if you have him at a high level. We've also got the Krutox Rider with Berserk, another really fun one to use with Onva. He's going to get double the attack boost from both Berserk and the special rule. We've also got the new Krut Flesh Shaper, 21 points. That one is a bit of a stronger melee attack, but it also has Medicae. Of course, as a brand new card, most players aren't going to have it at a high level, but if you do, the thing is definitely a very valuable piece in an Onva deck. Then we've got, I believe that's the 13-point Krut Kill Broker, which is another fairly new card. I don't think I have it in my collection, but it has Inspiring Presence. And then we got another Krut with a target acquired, and then the Krut Hound. I don't know really if it's going to be of much use in this deck. I guess it's just to fill up the last remaining points. But overall, this looks like a fun deck to use with some pretty good potential. Moving on to the first of several ranged warlords. Darkstrider is perhaps the strongest one, at least in PvP. He was kind of dominating the field there. He's only a rare warlord, but he actually deals a pretty good amount of damage and has ranged scout, so when he deploys, he can boost your firepower further, but with him, it makes sense to just run some really powerful ranged units. So we've got Long Strike with the Inspiring Presence and Precision Shot. Even after the nerf, he's still quite strong. We got the 71-point Barracuda with Barrage and Outflank. That thing is going to be very powerful. And then we've also got Commander Kalduri again with Inspiring Presence and Scout. But with Darkstrider, what you want to do is include cheap cards with Taunt, I think, are the ones that work best. So we got the Shield Drone and the Stealth Drone. Both of those you want to deploy alongside 2 bigger cards. And then when they die, you can shift your cards over and get a bunch of free attacks in. We've also got the 2-point Farsight Marksman with target acquired and ranged scout. 2 points, yeah, it's very cheap. I know MadEmp seems to be very partial to target acquired, and while this one may have its use, that and also the 3-point Command Link Drone, I think I personally would get rid of one of those. With Darkstrider, I don't think it's a good idea, really, to have more than 6 bodyguards in the deck, because like in this case, there is a chance that you may be forced to deploy 2 of those weaker bodyguards at the same time, which is definitely not ideal. I think you want to have at least 2 of those big damage dealers on the field at all times to make the best use of his special rule. So that's just my 2 cents on this one. Moving on to Shazo Rai, who has Shield and Precision Shot as his secondary trait. He is a very powerful warlord because his special rule basically just gives you a boost to your cards at all times. Right from turn 1, you get a 20% boost to your ranged attack, then on the next turn it's a 40% boost, and then on the third turn after that it's a 20% damage reduction to your units. So all of those effects are very useful, and of course you're going to want to run some strong ranged units with this guy. So again, we have Long Strike and Commander Kalduri. Then we also got the 42-point Sunshark Bomber with Barrage, and also Ranged Scout as a secondary trait. So definitely a very powerful card to be including. We've got just a bunch of defensive units as well. The 6-point card with Medicae, the 2 drones with Taunt, and then the 12-point, I think that's a Stealth Suit with Shield, I believe. Just an extra card to throw in there to block and hold down a lane. So yeah, definitely a powerful build. I am a little bit confused as to why there are 2 cards with Inspiring Presence in the deck, because obviously it doesn't stack. They'll still be doing plenty of damage, I guess, but it is kind of awkward, I've noticed, I think, with the Tau bodyguards. There's sometimes not really a perfect bodyguard to fit with the last few points, resulting in some less than ideal choices for the remaining bodyguards. Moving on to Commander Shadow Sun. This is the original Shadow Sun, of course, whose special rule doesn't activate until you deploy your last card, which then heals all of your cards on the field back to full and gives them plus 20 ranged attacks. Once again, you want to include ranged units. We're seeing the same Long Strike and Barracuda here. And then the Piranha, 17-point epic card there with ranged scout and outflank. I do like that card quite a bit. And once again, the 2 drones with Taunt, the healer, and then the 6-point card with a ranged scout as well, so just another boost to your ranged attack. So yeah, this one basically it's just the 2 big cards that you'll want to stay on the field until the very end, and then when Shadow Sun deploys, you'll just be able to heal them back up and then just be dealing massive amounts of damage. Of course, I think this special rule is not nearly as good as the ones that we saw earlier because it just doesn't activate until the very end. So yeah, in terms of ranked competitiveness, I don't think Shadow Sun is the best option. And then finally we have Commander Farsight, who is basically, his special rule functions in the same way as Shadow Sun, except instead of ranged, it boosts your melee attack when your final card deploys, which makes it just kind of more awkward because, of course, Tau don't really have very many strong melee cards, although we do see one particularly powerful one, 24 points there, that is Aon Shi, a legendary with shield and furious charge and a massive melee attack when he is at this level. So yeah, he's going to be just cutting through anything, I think, once Commander Farsight deploys alongside him. We got the Ravarna Battlesuit, which has a very weak melee attack, but getting that healed back to full at the end could be pretty good. We've also got some slightly different composition here. We got the Piranha, and then at 30 points, the Cold Star Battlesuit with Outflank and Regeneration. Currently has very good stats, I think, for its cost. A solid ranged attack, although no melee attack. We got the 6-point Healer, 1 Shield Drone with Taunt, and then the 7-point Gun Drone, I think, with Endless, which is an interesting choice there. I'd be curious to see what the reasoning is behind some of these bodyguards with Farsight. Obviously, you're going to be starting off with the ranged units, and then at the end, just switch to melee. But yeah, I haven't played Commander Farsight in ages. I think he just really pales in comparison to some of the other Tau Warlords. So that is it for the 5 regular Tau Warlords. Let me know what you think of these builds, and if you have any other ideas for what would work well with these Warlords, feel free to leave a comment. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.